Out on the edge of the Wild West, where the land looks calm but the shadows hide old secrets, a rancher named Cole Maddox is about to walk into a nightmare no man has ever survived. It starts with a strange mark in the dirt, then a missing horse, and soon something far more dangerous rises from the darkness. Legends say the frontier holds creatures born from fire, anger, and old curses. Things that hunt when the sun falls and don't leave anything behind. Most folks run from these stories, but Cole didn't. And the moment he stepped into that silent prairie, something ancient began watching him. Every step he takes pulls him deeper into a world where fear has a face, and its eyes burn like the devil himself. What he discovers next will change everything. And if you think the first signs were terrifying, wait until you see what's waiting in the next scene. Stay with the story because every moment gets darker, more intense, and more unbelievable. And if you love thrilling Wild West mysteries, make sure to subscribe, you won't want to miss what comes next. The prairie stretched endlessly under the pale morning sun, the grass whispering like it carried secrets no one wanted to hear. Cole Maddox had lived on this land his entire life. But today something felt wrong, a heaviness in the air, a silence that didn't belong. Even the cattle were restless, pacing in tight circles near the fence line. Cole knelt beside the strange tracks outside his barn. Long, deep grooves pressed into the dirt, shaped like claws but far too big for any animal he knew. The prints dug so deep that the soil beneath looked scorched. He pressed his fingers to the earth and flinched. It was warm, unnaturally warm. Behind him, his ranch hand, Eli, stood trembling, hat clutched to his chest. "Cole, don't go after it," he whispered, voice cracking. "Stop, he'll kill you." But Cole wasn't a man who backed down. Not when his best horse was missing. Not when something had broken into his barn with enough force to bend an iron latch like soft bread. He followed the trail with slow, steady steps, boots crunching across the dry ground. Each print led him farther from the safety of his ranch, deeper into parts of the prairie even the locals refused to ride through at night. The wind picked up, carrying with it a strange metallic smell, like the air after lightning strikes. Cole's heart thudded harder the moment he reached the first sign of violence. A patch of earth torn apart, splinters of wood scattered everywhere, and a broken fence post snapped clean in half. Something big, something powerful, something angry. He took another step and noticed tufts of his horse's mane caught in a thorny bush, stained with dust and something darker. His jaw tightened. "Hang on, girl," he muttered under his breath. "I'm coming." As he moved deeper, the prairie shifted into uneven ground littered with boulders. A murder of crows perched on the rocks, silent and still, watching him with unsettling focus, and as if they knew something he didn't. One flapped its wings once, then froze, eyes fixed on the path ahead. Cole didn't like the feeling crawling up his spine, but he pushed forward until the land dipped suddenly into a dry creek bed. The soil here was blackened, the plants wilted, as if whatever passed through had poisoned the ground. Cole knelt again, brushing the dirt. It crumbled like ash between his fingertips. A low rumble of thunder rolled across. The sky, though no storm. Clouds were anywhere in sight. The silence broke for a moment, just enough for Cole to hear something faint, a deep dragging sound echoing from beyond the rocks. He lifted his rifle, thumb brushing the worn metal of the trigger guard. Whatever took his horse was close, and whatever it was waiting for him. Cole swallowed hard, squared his shoulders, and stepped into the unknown, knowing full well he might not step back out. The sky bled into shades of orange and purple as Cole stepped into the ruins of the old miners' camp. Every structure was half collapsed, charred black, as if fire itself had tried to erase whatever happened here. The air felt wrong, thick, heavy, almost alive. Cole tightened his grip on his rifle, scanning every corner, every ripple of shadow. A tin can rolled across the ground, nudged by a breeze that died too quickly. Cole froze. Something was nearby, not hiding but circling, studying him the same way a wolf studies a wounded deer. The dirt beneath his boots shifted once, twice, like something enormous was moving under it. A low rumbling growl seeped out from between two fallen beams. It wasn't an animal sound. It was deeper, older, like it had crawled up from the earth's core. Cole steadied his breath and brought his rifle up slowly, refusing to let his fear show. Then he saw them. Two burning red eyes hovering in the darkness, watching him without blinking. The temperature around him dropped. His breath fogged. The stories the elders whispered, about creatures that lived in the cracks of the world, slammed into his mind. The eyes moved forward, growing bigger, brighter. The creature stepped out, its huge claws scraping against stone, leaving deep grooves that smoked as if the rocks were burning. Its skin looked like hardened lava, cracked and glowing from within. It wasn't just a beast, and it looked like punishment shaped into flesh. Cole fired. The shot lit up the ruins in a flash. The bullet hit the creature square in the shoulder, and bounced off like it had struck iron. The beast barely flinched. It growled, louder this time, the sound vibrating through Cole's bones. It lunged. Cole dove behind a broken mining cart, barely avoiding the massive claw that sliced the air above him. Splinters of shattered wood rained down. He rolled, grabbed a second shell, and fired again, this time straight at its face. The blast pushed the creature back a single step, and then it lifted its head, those devilish eyes burning brighter than before. Cole felt something he hadn't felt since childhood, helpless. The beast lumbered forward, smashing a support beam like it was nothing. Rocks tumbled. Dust filled the air. Cole stumbled back, each breath harder to take. The creature's shadow swallowed him whole as it advanced, and for a terrifying moment, he wondered if the warning, "Stop, he'll kill you," wasn't about an outlaw or a bandit. It was about this, something not meant to walk the earth. Cole steadied himself, wiped the sweat from his brow, and whispered to the empty sky, "Guess it's just you and me now." And he prepared to fight a monster no rancher was ever meant to face. Cole's boots slid across the loose gravel as he stepped back. Every muscle in his body coiled tight. The creature's heavy breath shook the air, each exhale sounding like fire scraping through a furnace. Those eyes, burning, blood red and unblinking, pinned him in place. Cole had stared down outlaws, bandits, and killers, but nothing in his life had ever felt this close to death. The wind died. The canyon fell silent. Even the night seemed afraid to move. Cole's hand brushed against an old wooden crate left behind by long-gone miners. When his fingers closed around the cold metal cylinder inside, hope sparked in his chest. Dynamite. Maybe his last chance. He didn't waste a second. He ripped the stick free, striking a match against the crate. The flame burst to life, tiny and fragile, but to Cole it felt like salvation. He touched it to the fuse. It caught instantly, hissing, spitting sparks like a rattlesnake ready to bite. The creature sensed danger. Its roar shook rocks loose from the cliff above. It charged with terrifying speed, tearing up the earth beneath its claws. Cole didn't run. He'd spent his whole life fighting things bigger than him, and tonight would be no different. He threw himself forward, sliding under the beast's swinging arm, the heat of its skin searing across his cheek. With every ounce of strength he had left, he shoved the burning dynamite into the creature's snarling jaw, a heartbeat of silence. Then, a deafening explosion ripped through the canyon, turning the night into a blinding flash of fire and dust. The shockwave sent Cole crashing hard onto the rocks. His ears rang. His body throbbed. He tasted blood. Slowly, painfully, he pushed himself to his knees. Smoke drifted through the canyon like ghostly fog. The creature lay motionless, its glowing eyes finally dark. Cole stared at it, breathing heavy, realizing he had just killed something the old legends never even dared describe. He wiped the sweat and dust from his face, staggering to his feet. The night remained quiet, too quiet, and in that silence, Cole understood something chilling. If this monster was real, then there were others out there too. He slung his rifle over his shoulder and walked back into the darkness, not as a rancher, but as a man who had just stepped into a world far more dangerous than he ever imagined.